100 cyclists are killed every year on Britain's roads, with the number of cars totalling to over 35 million. The south remains one of the most congested regions in the country. Approximately 6 days are lost driving in rush hours throughout the year, and some believe cycling is the way forward. With the Bournemouth area being rated as having some of the worst traffic nationwide, it's obvious that action needs to be taken.
Amazing! Well done!
50% of the commutes in Bournemouth total up at a low 3 miles, making it clear that this area is the prime place for low-emission transport to take place. Meet Adam, a 24-year-old barista from Bournemouth who plans on changing the state of the nation's roads on 2 wheels. Founded in July of 2023, Cycling Rebellion holds critical mass bike rides every month in an attempt to spread the word for a safer cycling infrastructure across the UK.
Cycling Rebellion is a movement to create the radical action we need in order to combat climate change. And that angle we were taking, is cycling and walking. The key thing being that we need a radical rollout of all these changes rather than a short term. So we're a protest movement rather than just an advocacy movement to end basically car dependency in our cities. So cities should be about not just cars, but people, bikes, and all forms of transport. Cycling from a very young age was just something we did in my family. My mum didn't have a driving licence and we were just a single family, so we'd just cycle everywhere. We'd get the train everywhere or take our bikes on the train, and that was just normal. And then as a result, we just went to places that were near us, and I don't feel like I missed out on anything.
Stemming from a childhood of bike riding, Adam feels confident cycling on the roads. However, not everyone feels the same, leading Adam to create Cycling Rebellion.
Last Friday of every month, critical mass somewhere in Bournemouth. It'll be on the Facebook, and we'll also be doing some more little actions and things. As things go on, we'll try and get it bigger and bigger. So I've got some flyers, if anyone wants a flyer. And let's keep this up. Thanks so much for coming, guys. Stay cool. So initially it started with me worrying about the climate. That's where Cycling Rebellion kind of began. So I joined the local Extinction Rebellion group. Suddenly go, oh wow, there's other people who actually are really worried about this, and it's a really big deal. And when you suddenly feel normal about that, rather than being all doom and gloom, you actually feel like you can do something about the climate. And I just looked and I was like, no one is protesting about transport, even though it's 10% of the world's emissions. I was like, someone needs to. So I kind of just suddenly felt like I had to do something. And so just organised the first big bike ride, and it was quite a big deal. And it's just sort of all spiralled off from there. And it's been really exciting.
Not only is Cycling Rebellion calling for a better cycling infrastructure, but they also have something else in mind.
Love 20 is our first campaign, and that's basically calling for blanket 20-mile-per-hour speed limits in Bournemouth and also cities across the UK. And the fantastic design we have with that is we have a heart-shaped sort of speed limit sign with 20 in the middle. So we're really going for positive imagery, but also something a little disruptive, that we're hanging them up on lampposts and things on streets, and then reaching out to people on the street.
However, it's not always easy to get people to listen, and so Adam has to take on a slightly more disorderly approach.
Obviously we're on the roads and we have full permission from the police to do it, but that's not to say our critical mass bike rides aren't a little disruptive, in the sense we're cycling along, taking up the whole left side of the road, as you're allowed to do, and that's going to block the traffic behind us unless they can overtake, which they often can't. It's slightly transgressive because, for one, we're calling for people something that maybe is a little controversial, and that's been chosen on purpose because it'll be more effective. And also, we're hanging things up on the street and it's very visual. And you actually find, more than anything, doing something like that actually has an impact, because unless you are slightly disruptive and transgressive, no one cares.
With the government actively resisting these campaigns, Adam has a battle on his hands. Rishi Sunak has been attempting to block councils from implementing 20 mph speed limits as part of a plan against anti-motorist policies.
I'm slamming the brakes on the war on motorists. It's as simple as that.
My sister can't park anywhere to pick me up. She can't turn on the... It's terrible.
It's a crass policy based on emotion, not real fact.
Government's plan for motorists, frankly, I think it's insane. It's almost completely transparent at this stage. They are proposing this just for votes. So, Rishi Sunak well knows the facts. No, none of the things he's proposing will actually reduce traffic, and yet we know by research that cycling, walking, public transport does. He knows it emotionally appeals to people, and that's this big thing that will live by their emotions. That's just normal. And Rishi Sunak well knows that and is weaponising that.
And it's not just governmental oppositions to his cause. Adam also has to deal with backlash from closer to home.
Facebook is, of course, is a beautiful place. And yeah, so we have seen some backlash really on there. I think we stoked into creation the anti-BH Active Travel Facebook page, but I see the same names popping up all the time on Facebook posts. You know, just saying the standard stuff that they've probably read in the Daily Mail or something, just quite annoyed about it. In a way, I'd say that's a reason to say things are working, because there's actually people are annoyed and they care, and no one's going to talk about it if there isn't any kind of emotion there. On the Daily Echo, where we see a lot of our local articles printed, you get the classic stuff, people saying we're unemployed, of course, or, you know, we should be run over. So really extreme stuff, but you kind of can't help but laugh at it because it's so silly.
Today is the final mass bike ride of the year. With an enthusiastic turnout in numbers, Adam hopes Cycling Rebellion will make its mark with their festive-themed protest.
The main portion of the ride will stay, we'll take up the whole left lane of the road. You know, so we will hold up traffic a bit, but it's completely legal. Dorset Police said it's okay, and it's also enshrined in the law that we can do this critical mass, so yeah.
As part of his growing campaign, Adam hopes Cycling Rebellion will branch out nationwide as he aims to create a more sustainable, eco-friendly planet.
The plan for Cycling Rebellion in the future is, yeah, for it to be a nationwide campaign. We make it super accessible to start your own local group and actually just get out straight away doing something. We've, you know, got effective actions that make sense, so the aim is to making it super open. People around the country can start their own Cycling Rebellion groups, especially the critical masses, which really draw people in, and that can make change, hopefully, really quickly. Countrywide, we can then, you know, draw that power together and build things up as time goes on. Really, the long game would be to, you know, once we've built a name for the group and such, we could build onto actions like painting our own road infrastructure. And when you have the kind of power and positivity behind you, history has really shown that these movements, you know, people do really keep going. And we're really trying to create that positive nationwide thing.
With time running out, it's essential that people like Adam continue to promote their cause and endeavour to fight this climate emergency.